This video will cover some aspects of company policies that are frequently forgotten or misunderstood. You must thoroughly read your employment agreement and employee handbook and make sure you understand all company policies and procedures. This will assist you in your employment. Company rules and policies are designed to promote safe and harmonious working environment for the benefit of everyone. Unacceptable behaviours and actions which breach rules, policy or safety requirements could result in disciplinary action, suspension or dismissal for serious misconduct. All relevant legislation must be followed at all times. Be polite, courteous and civil to all colleagues, clients and visitors at all times. Aggressive, argumentative and confrontational behaviour is not acceptable under any circumstances. Be familiar with all company policies and procedures. I cannot emphasise enough that you must read and understand everything in your employee handbook. Be ready to commence work at the start time and clock into work on time. Being ready to work means at work in a fit state to work with any required PP on, ready to physically begin work immediately. You must only clock in when physically ready to begin work. Do not clock in before you have got ready to work. Be ready to work and clocked in at the time your manager has asked you to start working. If you are absent, you must call your supervisor. Do not leave messages with fellow employees. You must speak to your direct manager or in his absence another manager. Text messages and emails are not acceptable forms of communicating your absence. Make sure you have your supervisor's contact number in your phone. You may not use materials, consumables, machineries, vehicles, internet, phones or work time for personal use without explicit permission from the general manager. You may not leave the workplace before your scheduled finishing time or during work time without the permission of your manager. This is for health and safety reasons. If you leave the workplace for any reason, you must clock out prior to leaving and back in on your return. If included, you should indicate your absence on the office whiteboard. Annual leave or time off must be approved in advance with at least 2 weeks' notice. If you do not hear back about your leave application after a couple of days, see your manager or teacher to follow up. You must keep all documentation and records as requested by management and must not falsify your timesheet or any records, reports or any other documentation. You must complete your timesheet accurately every day in the correct manner. You should treat all company property with appropriate respect and care. Report any tool or equipment fault immediately. Ensure equipment, machinery, vehicles and tools are correctly used, kept clean and tidy and in good condition. You must turn off any equipment or machinery and secure all doors and windows before leaving the building at the end of the day or outside normal working hours. You are responsible for the security of your own property. Do not leave valuables where they may be interfered with. Removal or unauthorised possession of another employee's, the company's client, or supplier's property is a serious offence. All breaks must be taken at the times in either your contract or the employee handbook. Breaks must be taken at or as close as possible to agreed break times. Staff working on site or outside of normal working hours should take a break as per the entitlement above, stopping approximately every 3 hours. Staff should go no more than 4 hours with no break. Drivers should take food with them for breaks taken while away from the company premises. All breaks are a requirement for health and safety reasons. Clients will have one main point of contact. This main point of contact will be the default salesperson for the client. All client queries should be referred to this one point of contact for response with the sole exception of simple queries which can be quickly and easily answered by the initial query recipient. Main client contacts are to be responsible for following up and responding to client queries within a reasonable time frame. No client queries are to be put directly through to production unless under the specific instructions of the main client contact. Production staff are required to wear company-supplied safety clothing at all times while working. This includes full overalls for those working full-time in the workshop, or company polo for those working elsewhere as issued by management. Employees should take reasonable care of the clothing and ensure that it is clean and presentable at all times. When employment ends, the employee must return all company clothing in a presentable condition. Office staff are required to adhere to a business casual dress standard. New production staff are required to supply their own steel-toe cap work boots when they start, unless special circumstances apply. After 6 months of direct continuous employment, the company will subsidise the replacement of work boots that are no longer fit for use. A subsidy applies per 18-month period of employment. In order to make use of the subsidy, the boots must be assessed for replacement. The procedure for replacement is detailed in the employee handbook. Each company vehicle has an associated fuel card. Each fuel card may only be used to fuel the designated vehicle. Fuel cards may not be used to fuel any non-company vehicles. The vehicle driver is responsible for the care of the fuel card to ensure it is not lost, stolen, misused, or otherwise abused. Management must be notified immediately if a card is lost or stolen. If a card is lost or stolen, the person whose care it was in when it happened will be responsible for the replacement cost. Fuel cards may be used to purchase fuel only, either petrol or diesel, depending on the vehicle. All purchases must be checked for accuracy by the driver. All company IT resources, including phones, computers, tablets, software, photocopiers, printers, data, email, internet, and social media, are provided subject to rules and exceptions. Your employee handbook for full rules and exceptions. The following is a short summary. These rules and exceptions apply whether use takes place on company premises, on company mobile devices, or working from home. This includes use on mobile resources as well as company Wi-Fi use on personal devices. Only people who have been authorised to use these facilities may do so. Staff members must always consider the security of the company's systems and data when using these facilities. The employee should take all possible steps to protect the employee's automation systems from computer viruses and malware. These facilities may not be used to send or store inappropriate contents or materials. Viewing or distributing inappropriate content is not acceptable under any circumstances. This includes activities online that could bring the company into disgrace, material that may be slanderous, incur liability for the company, pornographic, racial or religious slurs, gender-specific comments, information encouraging criminal skills or terrorism, materials relating to cults, gambling or illegal drugs, illegal or criminal activities, offensive or harassing materials, broadcast unsolicited personal views on social, political, religious, or other non-business related matters, or materials that could damage the company's image or reputation. Employees must not download, install, or allow to be installed any third-party software applications. The employee must not disable or uninstall any software applications provided by the employer. Employees' access passwords are confidential information. These facilities are provided for legitimate business use. The company therefore reserves the right to monitor employee use of any and all of these facilities. Any personal use which incurs a cost must be paid for by the employee. All resources must be treated with care and respect. Resources issued for individual use are the responsibility of that individual to care for and maintain. Careless use of resources causing damage will be the responsibility of the person causing the damage to pay to repair or replace the resource. Users must not open email attachments from unknown sources, disable security or email scanning software, send confidential company data via email, or access another user's company email accounts without authorization. Employees are not permitted to refer to the employer in any social media forum. Employees are not permitted to identify any person associated with the employee's business. Employees must not send or post messages or material that may damage the company's image or reputation or interact with competitors or clients. Staff may be held responsible for the cost to repair any damage caused by introducing corrupt data viruses to company property through any means or by otherwise not adhering to this policy. The following requirement and responsibilities apply to staff members who are given keys to premises used by the company. Keys and alarm codes must only be used to access company premises for work purposes at times as instructed by the supervisor. Improper use of keys may result in the staff member being removed as a key holder and/or other disciplinary action. Under no circumstances is the key holder permitted to pass the issued key to anyone other than their supervisor. Under no circumstances is the key holder to share their security code with anyone. Loss of keys must be reported immediately to the administration office staff. Key holders entering the premises outside normal working hours must ensure the exterior doors are locked when they are in the building and when they leave. Fabrication staff must provide personally the minimum tool requirement to complete your work. The company will provide tools only beyond this minimum requirement. A list of tools required is included in the employee handbook. All tools should be clearly labelled and easily identified as yours. You are expected to monitor, maintain and replace your own tools. Tools should not be borrowed from other staff members. Borrowing of tools without the owner's permission may result in disciplinary action being taken. Only company vehicles may be parked on the company premises. All private vehicles must be parked off-site. Company vehicles are for business use only. You must have a full, current, valid licence to drive any company vehicle. You must check that the vehicle has a current warrant of fitness and up-to-date road user charges. Ensure all loads are fastened safely. Drive courteously and obey all road rules. If you have an accident, do not omit liability. Complete an accident form and pass it to your manager. Clean out the vehicle after you have used it. Return keys and fuel card to your supervisor. Report any damage done to the vehicle while in your care. Where the vehicle is in an accident which is found to be the fault of the driver may be responsible for the insurance excess or cost if the driver was clearly careless or the vehicle was not being used for business purposes. Any parking or speeding penalties incurred are to be met by the employee. Vehicles may be tracked by GPS and those records may be used as evidence of failure to follow company rules or policies and may result in disciplinary processes being followed. A night shift is any shift that begins after 8 p.m. and finishes before 7 a.m. Evening shifts that begin before 8 p.m. and finish by 12 a.m. or morning shifts which begin after 12 a.m. and finish after 7 a.m. do not fall under this policy. Staff members will be requested to work full or part night shifts by management as dictated by client requirements. Management will make all reasonable efforts to avoid or reduce night shifts where possible. Staff are expected to agree to reasonable requests to complete night shifts and share responsibility for shifts, depending on the specific skills required to finish the work needed. Management will endeavour to give as much notice as possible for night shifts. On the day of the first night shift, it is expected that the staff member is to start work at the normal time and finish work 8 hours prior to the night shift start time as advised by the site supervisor. From the early finish time until the normal finish time is considered a pre-shift stand-down period. For health and safety reasons, staff members are required to sleep during the pre-shift stand-down period. Staff members will be paid at their normal hourly rate during the pre-shift stand-down period with half an hour unpaid for lunch. This time will count as hours worked. An unpaid stand-down period after completing a night shift of 8 hours applies. The staff member is required to be present and ready for work 8 hours after clocking out of the night shift, unless this would be after 4 p.m, in which case the staff member will work again from the start of the next working day. The staff member is responsible for working available hours to ensure their total hours for the week are more than 40. Hours will not be topped up for staff members who work less than 40 where available hours are not taken up. If there are not enough available hours, the staff member should raise it with their manager. Quality control is to be carried out by each staff member at each stage of manufacture. The estimator salesperson is required to review all job details prior to job processing to ensure all relevant information is included in the job documentation. No job-related information is to be communicated verbally. All staff members are required to quality check their own work. This means ensure that what they are completing is correct to the drawing measurements, made out of the correct material, is the correct hand, and meets any other requirements noted on the drawing. All staff are required to complete the post-step QC check on the job paperwork. Each department will have a designated QC area. Once manufacture is complete, all jobs are to be placed in the designated QC area. The department manager will review all jobs in the QC area and complete the manager's quality control dispatch checklist in the job bag prior to moving the job to the dispatch area. Prior to producing the delivery note and scheduling delivery of the job, the production and purchasing coordinator will check that the manager's quality control dispatch checklist has been completed and is present in the job bag. The job will be photographed in order to record state at dispatch. Once photographed, the job will be appropriately wrapped and scheduled for delivery. All quality control errors must be reported by email by any and all staff members who are aware of them.